In business news this evening, Group Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines is calling on African governments to channel resources into reviving and boosting the capacity of local airlines to enable them match international competition. He was interacting with media practitioners from Africa and France who were being taken on a working tour of some new routes within the People's Republic of China. Abdullah Mohammed filed this report.
Ethiopian Airlines has added 7 new destinations within 5 months this year, one of its greatest network expansions, according to the Addis Ababa-based carrier. From February to July, Ethiopian Airlines has launched new services to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, Antananarivo, Madagascar, Guinea, Norway, Chengdu, China, and Singapore. Within the latest additions, the leading and most profitable airline in Africa, Ethiopian Airlines will serve 103 international destinations from its Addis Ababa hub. Group Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines, Tewolde Gabri Mariam, who hosted journalists from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia, and France at his office, says the success story of the airlines forms part of a concerted effort to expand and cover the entire globe.
Following to this fast-growing trade lane, whether it is tourism, or trade or investment between China and Africa. And as you know, China is heavily invested in Africa, developing African infrastructure. Also, China is the largest recipient of African exports today, including oil. So following this development, Ethiopian Airlines has been investing heavily in China.
He also spoke about the new routes introduced by the global carrier, including new routes to China.
We are today the largest airline connecting Africa and China, with a daily non-stop to Beijing, a daily non-stop to Shanghai, a daily non-stop to Guangzhou, and a daily non-stop to Hong Kong, and also 3 times a week new flight to Chengdu. And we are also preparing ourselves to start service to Shenzhen in a few months from now. So this shows you that Ethiopian Airlines is a big player in the China and Africa traffic.
Ethiopian Airlines Vision 2025 plan is to make Ethiopian Airlines the leading airline group in Africa in 7 strategic business areas: international passenger service, regional service, cargo, MRO, aviation academy, in-flight catering service, and ground service. According to him, Ethiopian Airlines is on course to delivering continuous world-class service to its clients. He, however, expressed worry over the lack of adequate attention by African governments towards the aviation industry.
Aviation is an essential, critical public transport for Africa. But unfortunately, in most African countries or governments, it's perceived as the rich man means of transport. So because of this, it is taxed highly, heavily, sometimes taxed more than alcoholic beverage or cigarette. Very unfortunate. So these are the major problems, especially taxation, cost of jet fuel, lack of liberalization. As a result of this, the traffic is not growing because it is not affordable by the average person in the continent. And because the traffic is not growing and there is no volume and there is no economies of scale, the prices are very high, higher than the rest of the world. So it's a vicious circle.
The airline targets to reach 120 destinations worldwide by the year 2025.